used to think it's normal for grandparents to be tired. When they're old, everyone sleeps fitfully, stays up late, and wakes up early. Until one night, I saw him quietly walk out of the room at 3 a.m., hands holding his stomach, eyes wide open. Not sleepy, not tired, just unable to lie still. He sat down on the edge of the chair, sighed. "I'm tired, but my mind is awake as if I've never slept before." That's when I started to pay attention. It's not that he eats a lot, but dinner, even if it's just a few dishes, usually has fried food, fish sauce, something to get through the day. And for the elderly, the digestive system is weak, the heart beats irregularly, the liver and kidneys work slowly. Just one heavy dish is enough to ruin a whole night's sleep. I'm not a doctor. I don't know where to start. But I know one thing clearly. Love cannot lie still and watch the person you love lose sleep every night. So I started to change. Nothing big, just a little less salt. No frying, steaming more, cooking a little earlier. I made vegetable soup, millet porridge, light seaweed soup. And gradually, I saw miracles happen, not loudly, not clearly, but enough to feel. He slept more deeply. The regular snoring returned like it had in the years. She no longer complained of heat in her body, no longer thirsty in the middle of the night. When I woke up in the morning, I saw that they were not sitting at the table like before, but called me up, saying, "Today you feel a little better." That was when I understood. A proper dinner does more than just warm the stomach. It warms up the things that I thought were tired. It helps the person you love have a full night's sleep again. That evening, I didn't do anything fancy. Just a simple pot of lotus root soup with snow fungus. No bone broth, no oil, no seasoning. I just added a few wolfberries, a few thin slices of ginger, then simmered slowly over low heat to let everything blend. A delicate aroma wafted through the kitchen, the smell of earth, of water, of something very old. When I scooped it into a bowl and placed it in front of him, he looked up and smiled slightly. "This is like what my grandmother cooked when I was a child," he said, his voice low, his eyes as if remembering something he hadn't touched in a long time. He ate slowly, spoon by spoon, without saying anything more. It was just a quiet soup, but I could feel the peace seeping into him through each small sip. Not filling, not stimulating to the taste buds, just light enough, soft enough, gentle enough that he no longer felt heavy in the stomach, tired in the body. And that night, for the first time in weeks, he slept through the night. No waking in the middle of the night. No turning. Just steady breathing like the sleep of someone who no longer had the fullness and restlessness of a stomach. That evening, I decided to try something really light. No milk, no sugar, nothing heavy. I cooked oatmeal in plain water until it was soft. Then I steamed the pear slices separately, until they were cooked enough to give off a gentle aroma. I added a few lotus seeds that had been simmered beforehand, small seeds, but have the ability to calm the heart at night. I scooped them into a bowl and placed them in front of her. No bright colors, no strong aroma, just a simple, warm, and peaceful bowl of porridge. She took a spoonful, then looked at me, smiling. "It feels light, but still filling enough in a comfortable way." And I understood. There are meals that don't need to make people admire. Just make the person you love feel light, breathe easily, and not be restless in the middle of the night. It's a kind of care that's quiet, unobtrusive. But it is silence, just like the way the elderly love their children and grandchildren over the years. That night, I didn't want him to eat anything heavy. Old people, if they eat just one small wrong dish, can keep them awake all night. So I made a very simple pot of broth, Chinese cabbage and dried seaweed. No bones, no MSG. Just a little bit of vegetables, a little bit of water, and a little bit of low heat, enough to soften everything, blend together. Before scooping it into a bowl, I lightly sprinkled a drop of sesame oil, not too strong, but enough to bring out the gentle aroma of a warm meal. I handed it to him. He didn't ask what it was, just took a small sip, then smiled slightly. "This looks like something cooked for monks," he joked, his eyes shining with the humor of an old man when he saw something light and pure. I laughed along. Not because of what he said, but because of that moment, He was sitting there, comfortable, at peace, and my heart felt strangely light. That night, he slept deeply. No turning, no familiar cough in the middle of the night. The next morning, he said, "Last night, somehow I slept so well." And I understood. Sometimes you don't need fancy dishes. Just a bowl of really good soup is enough to bring your loved one back to a full night's sleep. I used to think as long as my parents were full at dinner, they'd sleep well. But I started to notice a pattern. On nights when dinner was salty, oily, or too close to bedtime, they tossed and turned more. Mom would sigh, "My stomach feels heavy, my mind won't settle." Later, I learned the science behind it. As we age, digestion slows down. The elderly process fats, salt, and heavy proteins more slowly. A rich dinner forces the body to work when it's supposed to rest. And that shows up as poor sleep. Rapid heartbeat, indigestion, night thirst, shallow sleep. It's not just aging, it's also the result of the wrong kind of meal. So I made changes: less salt, no fried food, dinner by 7 p.m., more soft vegetables, lighter cooking, simpler ingredients. The results? Dad stopped waking up at 3 a.m., Mom said. "I feel like I actually rested." And I realized, the right dinner doesn't just fill their stomachs, it carries them into sleep gently. I know taking care of elderly relatives is not easy. There are nights when you just wish your parents would go to bed early, sleep well. But then you hear a dry cough coming from the next room. A turning sound, the sound of a chair moving slightly in the living room. You lie in bed, eyes still open, because you know they are also restless like you. Just don't say it. And sometimes, caring is not in the question, did your parents sleep well? But in a bowl of warm soup placed at the right time. A soft porridge without a strong smell. A meal without too much oil, not too much salt, no explanation needed. Because of love, no need to be noisy. Just need to be on time. And someone is willing to sit down, cook a dish for a peaceful night's sleep for the person they love. If you are also taking care of your grandparents, parents, try starting tonight. A gentle dish. A caring word placed gently on a spoon. Because who knows the first deep sleep after many tiring nights? We'll start from the dish you cook with your hands and your heart.